Hello, I'm L.D. Sledge. I'm a ghostwriter and a novelist. This is another in a series of videos that I've done relative to ghostwriting and writing. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I want to talk to you about plots and subplots. Some of the other areas that I've covered in these videos were such as I want to write a book. Where do I start? What is a ghostwriter? What are ghostwriters' fees, and other information like that that I felt like would be important to someone who would like to learn about the area. Plots and subplots. What is a plot? The plot is what the story is about. The plot carries you from the beginning to the middle to the end. One of the videos I talked to you about was the 7 parts of any thriller, where you have a character who has a problem, and then he tries to solve the problem, he fails, he tries to solve it again, he fails, and finally, at the end, he solves the problem, overcoming all odds. And so that was a theme that went through there. The person had a problem, you wanted to help him solve the problem, you got involved with the guy, and you wanted to help him solve the problem. He becomes very, very important that he make this happen. And so that's what happens when you get a person involved with the plot. I learned from reading a book many, many years ago, The Tell by James Michener, where he took a whole bunch of different threads and he brought them all together, and there were subplots. So he had several things happening at one time. He'd go from this point to another place back. Okay, in a book that I wrote here, Dawn's Revenge, which is a thriller set in the New Orleans French Quarter when I was practicing law down there. This involves a young lawyer, kind of down and out in a way. His housekeeper's daughter is murdered. He gets caught in the trap of knowing something and got into trouble. All right, but in the meantime, there's a subplot. In the apartment complex where he lives, there's a beautiful doctor. Her name is Victoria Keynes Dennison, and she's from Trinidad. A gorgeous black girl with emerald green eyes, and he's desperately in love with her, but he's from North Louisiana, and he's a bit of a redneck, and he's scared to cross the black line, and he just wants her so badly, but he just will not reach. So there's a thread that carries all the way through that book on, are they gonna get together or not? You don't find out until the very end. They may or may not. Okay? Read the book. Okay, another book I wrote here is it's a fantasy called Nimrod's Peril. A young boy is a wanderer on this unexplored planet, and he travels from one place to another and comes home, tells what he found. His traveling companion is a beautiful human-sized mouse, and he's in love with her. And she's just a gorgeous little thing. And she's kidnapped. And the story is about how he's going to rescue her. And part of the story is what happens to her. That's a subplot. Off of that spins 2 or 3 other subplots. So they take all of these stories. I say what happened to him, they go what happened to her, what happened to someone else, and what happened to someone else. I brought all of these threads together to the end of the book. These are a series of subplots to give it substance, to give it breadth, to give it depth, to give it color. And it's been a winner. It's already, someone has written a screenplay for it. So those are the things you can do in your subplots, and you can color it by doing this. So think of your plot, where you're going with it, and then try to add something in the middle or under there and ride those 2 things parallel. Okay? So if you've got a story in you like that, write it. If you're bursting at the seams with a story, write it. If you don't write it, it will perish with you. Now, if you don't have time to write it, and you have this thing that you've got to say, believe me, if you procrastinate, you will not get it done. At the end of days, you're going to look back and say, I had a chance. You can do it now. Call me. I will give you a 1-hour free consultation, and we'll talk about what we can do with your book. How it would be to have a book with your name on it as an author, saying your words, and we can work it out. I guarantee you there's something we can do, and we'll make it happen. We'll make it go right. Call me and you'll see.